Okay, just doing a quick review of the Ultrasharp 3K Stone and a fairly quick demo of the 300, 1200. That one's been around for a long time. I like the Ultrasharp product that I've used, and the 3000 kind of falls into that line. It seems to be a pretty nice stone. Touching up my Victorinox here. Chef's knife. This thing hasn't been sharpened with a guide in quite some time. Usually freehand it, so it'll probably take a minute around the belly to get it ship shape. But I should be able to do it on the 300 grit stone. That's one of my gripes about the Ultrasharp line, is that the 300 really isn't coarse enough to do a lot of work. So I usually pair it with a DMT extra coarse. So I'm pretty sure I've got the angle on this dialed in. Normally this widget here is in line and it doesn't have this bit of play to it. The other way is quite firm, but to fit everything in camera I got to do it like this, so it's going to move a little bit. I also normally have a piece of braided PVC on top to quiet it down so that you don't have this noise going on, but anyway. Let's see how close we are here. Pretty good. One of the things I really like about this is you can use whatever plate you want. It was originally designed to be used, and most of the time it is used with a belt grinder, and then I go to a plate. So for a manual guided sharpener, it's pretty darn fast, and with the Atomo 140 on here, you can reset just about anything very quickly. The only place it's a little kludgy, and I think that's the same with all guided sharpeners, is around the tip. Sometimes gotta be careful or you'll wind up grinding like a flat into the top of the tip there. So this is the 300 Ultrasharp. I'm just resetting the edge, so when I go to the 3K I got a nice fresh edge bevel on it. I don't feel any obvious burrs, and with the 3K I'm only going to use the leading pass. You know, for a truly fine edge, if this were a commercial job, I'd go to the 1200 first, but since this is for my kitchen, a 300 with a micro bevel will work just fine. Stick that in there, and that winds up being about a 2.5 degree micro bevel. This 3K Ultrasharp, for what it is, actually still has pretty good feedback, even freehand. I haven't used it a lot, but I've used it a little bit. It does not make any kind of like a mirror edge or anything like this, but used as a micro bevel coming off the 300 or even off the 12, you know, it makes a bright edge that you can easily see by eye. And again, even though it's a 3K and not something like an 8,000 grit Waterstone, I really don't want to completely erase all the edge irregularities from the 300. Of course, if you don't do enough passes, you wind up with more or less a 300 grit edge. So unlike the micro bevel that you get from an 8K or a 6K, even, that is really bright, this is more of like a slightly frosted, but it's still much brighter. Do not appear to have any burrs. And for good measure, I'm just going to take my DMT extra coarse here. I have a paper on it. You could use any plate. The reason I'm using the extra coarse is because it's completely dry. I'm just going to strap on paper. This normally doesn't do a whole lot for the edge unless you're doing linen paper or bearing down. If it's on a real irregular surface like a washboard, you can get a pretty good burnishing effect on carbon steels and low carbide content stuff. Alright. Now, sort of a limited review. It's a pretty good value for the stone. It falls in a range where it gets to be, it's very easy to find good diamond plates up to about 1200, and then the ones that continue to perform, you know, in the 3,000, 8,000, there just aren't that many of them. But this guy definitely delivers. It's a real nice addition to my my diamond kit, my travel set. Because I find that the extra fine is kind of limited in use, and it's a little slow, and you know, it does a good job, but you have to do way more setup, where something like the 3K can follow just about anything, a 300 grit in this case. Alright, anyway, Ultrasharp 3000 grit, pretty good buy, pretty good plate, worth adding to the collection if you're looking for something in that range. Alright, take it easy.